Hello everyone, subscribe to my channel to not miss new trending manhwa.
In this world, ranking is paramount, a system that dictates everyone's place. It's a force that ignites ambition, making people reach for higher status. Rankings measure everything from raw physical power to keen intellect. Even social connections, vast riches, and available professions are quantified. Indeed, in this age, every single aspect of life falls under a ranking system. A lone boy, armed with a sword, gazes out at a sprawling, untamed valley. With determination in his unseen eyes, this young adventurer's quest is about to unfold. Our story, WildRanker, begins in Chapter 1, introducing Lo and Yuna in Tori Village. Tori Village appears peaceful, nestled amongst green hills and quaint buildings. Here we find Lo, fiercely splitting logs, already honing his strength. Lo, now 16, proudly finishes his wood chopping task. A villager casually asks Lo for another favor, and he readily agrees. Suddenly, a fiery Yuna bursts in, sending the villager flying with a shout. Yuna, also 16, fiercely defends Lo, telling others to stop exploiting him. The villager protests, but Yuna insists Lo's spaced-out nature is just who he is. She passionately shakes Lo. Frustrated, he lets people use his kindness. Yuna softens, acknowledging Lo's good heart, but clearly worried. Then, an idea sparks in Yuna's eyes, her expression completely changing. She leans in, whispering a thrilling proposal, "Want to go outside the village?" Just then, an old woman appears, shockingly revealing she knows a secret path. The old woman fiercely forbids them, brandishing a pitchfork. "We're not allowed outside." As villagers restrain a furious Yuna, one man suggests locking her up. The villager, undeterred, asks Lo for help again, and Lo quickly agrees. Yuna despairs, "You two are the only ones our age here. I don't want us to drift apart." The villager gently tells Lo it's okay to have his own desires and take breaks. Lo, however, firmly insists, "No, I'll help," surprising the villager. He recalls his past. "When my parents died, everyone here treated me like family. Lo remembers their constant care. They looked out for me, and I want to repay that kindness." With a gentle smile, Lo declares, "I really love this village and everyone in it." Overcome with emotion, the villager tearfully offers Lo a place to live. But Lo politely declines. Lo firmly states, "To me, the villagers are what matter most." He believes the outside world holds little importance compared to his home. Meanwhile, a dejected Yuna finds herself locked in a bamboo cage. The old woman scolds Yuna, wishing she'd be more like the compliant Lo. Yuna questions their confinement. "But Grandma, why exactly can't we ever leave the village?" The elder explains the outside world is vast, but Yuna presses, "So why are we stuck here?" With a grave expression, the old woman reveals, "Because we're people who are resented." Yuna, shocked by this revelation, desperately asks, "Resented? By who?" The old woman cryptically replies, "You don't need to know. Someday, time will sort it all out." A mysterious, ethereal light descends, hinting at a deeper, unspoken truth. Elsewhere, Lo diligently draws water from the village well. He finishes his task, sighing, "All right, I've finished filling the water too." Suddenly, a small pebble hits Lo's head, making him pause. He turns to see Yuna secretly gesturing from behind a rock. SHHH. Yuna flashes a mischievous grin, beckoning Lo closer with a playful finger. She proudly declares escaping her cage is now a piece of cake after so many attempts. With boundless enthusiasm, Yuna urges, "Anyway, come with me, Lo." Lo hesitates, warning, "If we go outside again, Grandma will be furious." Yuna leans in, eyes sparkling, "I've got something I want to show you." Intrigued, Lo follows Yuna as she leads him into the sun-dappled forest. Yuna excitedly points ahead, exclaiming, "Right here." As Lo's eyes widen in anticipation, they emerge to a breathtaking vista, a vast, sunlit valley with a sparkling river snaking through it. Yuna throws her arm up, shouting, "Look, Lo, this is the outside world. It's this wide." Lo, utterly speechless, can only manage a soft "ho" as leaves drift past. A radiant smile spreads across Lo's face, his eyes gleaming, incredible. Yuna watches Lo's joyous reaction with a gentle, knowing smile. She then pulls out a book, asking, "Hey, you know the rules of the outside world?" Yuna reveals she secretly got the book from a merchant, explaining, "The outside world has a system called ranking." Images flash, showing various professions like adventurers and doctors, each with a distinct aura. Yuna continues, "There are all sorts of rankings, and those who make the list are called rankers." Yuna explains that even weapons, food, strength, and wealth are ranked in the outside world. She reveals everything gets ranked, and it seems everyone is fiercely competing for status. Lo muses, "So the outside world has rules too," while Yuna excitedly asks if it sounds fun. Yuna passionately declares, I want to become a ranked adventurer. She dreams of traveling, competing with rivals, and someday becoming cool and respected. Lo reminds her they can't leave, but Yuna defiantly shouts, I've already decided I'm going. She extends her hand to a surprised Lo, a determined so, hanging in the air. Yuna's plea echoes against the sky. Come with me, Lo. With a brilliant smile, she exclaims, let's go on an adventure. Yuna insists, you have to go out there, Lo, leaving him utterly bewildered. Yuna reminds Lo, remember, back when we were 5, and that huge bird attacked me. A flashback shows young Lo bravely fighting off the massive bird, a strange green energy flaring around him. Yuna, teary-eyed, recalls, you saved me, didn't you? As young Lo's fierce determination shines. Lo seems to barely recall, did that happen? While Yuna excitedly mimics a woong-woong sound. Yuna smiles knowingly, I knew from that moment, even though you space out all the time. She continues, when you put your heart into it, you are stronger than anyone else. As Lo looks surprised, Yuna passionately urges, you'll shine even brighter outside the village. So come explore the world with me. She leaps forward with infectious joy, beckoning Lo to follow her down a beautiful, sun-dappled path. Lo looks down, touched but hesitant, thanks, Yuna, but still. He then looks aside with a gentle smile, firmly stating, I love this village too much to leave. Yuna, frustrated, whacks Lo with a stick, exclaiming, ugh, you stubborn idiot. She storms off, declaring, fine. I'm going without you. While Lo quietly wishes her a safe journey back, Lo watches her depart, a pensive expression crossing his face as leaves drift by. He muses, Yuna leaving the village. I've never thought about it before. As birds fly in the distance. Alone, Lo gazes at the vast valley, contemplating, rankings, huh? The sky transitions from bright blue to a warm, orange sunset, marking the passage of time. Lo remains seated, lost in thought as dust settles, a dazed look on his face. With the sun setting, he finally murmurs, guess I'll head back. He rises, his boots kicking up a bit of dust as he begins his walk. Suddenly, Lo looks up, an expression of mild surprise as he notices something against the twilight sky. Lo murmurs, as a peculiar floating landmass appears in the fiery sunset. He stares in disbelief as the enormous, rocky island hovers ominously closer, questioning, what is that? The floating island suddenly pulses with an intense, crackling blue energy. Its crystalline base glows, a vortex of power forming beneath it as Lo watches, horrified. A colossal beam of pure blue energy erupts downwards from the island's core. Lo cries out, ho, as the shockwave hurls him backwards through the trees. Dazed on the forest floor, he looks back, wide-eyed. What happened? Scrambling up, Lo stares at the now empty sky, exclaiming, it's gone. His eyes are wide with terror, a silent thumping fear gripping him. Lo bolts, desperately trying to convince himself, it's fine, nothing happened, as he flees. His thoughts race to Yuna, Grandma, and everyone in the village. He sprints towards home, a dreadful premonition gripping him as he reaches the village outskirts. Where his village once stood, only a colossal, smoking crater remains. Lo stares in utter disbelief. What is this? The village. He stumbles to the very edge, his boots inches from the precipice of destruction. Desperate cries tear from his throat. Yuna, Grandma, is anyone there? A cherished memory surfaces, a young girl promising, it's okay, Lo. I'll always be by your side. He recalls the villagers' warmth. You're not alone, from now on, we're a family. Tears stream from his wide, horrified eye as the devastating reality sinks in. Lo collapses, a raw, anguished scream tearing through the desolate landscape. Kneeling in the dust, Lo cries out, why? Why did this happen? Tears stream as he laments, damn it, I was too late again. He clenches his fist, thinking, all I could do was watch as the sun sets. In the vast crater, a lone figure appears on the precipice above Lo. Lo looks up, startled, to see a stern-faced man looming over him. The mysterious man carefully descends the crater wall towards the grieving boy. He asks Lo, are you a survivor from Tori village? Lo numbly confirms, yeah. The man's piercing eyes soften slightly as he remarks, that must be tough. He reassures Lo, but don't worry. That island is gone now, confusing Lo, who asks island. The man leans in, intently asking, earlier, you know what that thing was? Lo desperately grabs the man, demanding answers about the village and its people. Tears streaming, Lo screams in anguish. What was that? The man's intense, red glowing eyes narrow, a bead of sweat tracing his temple. He offers Lo a slip of paper with strange symbols, urging, forget the village. The man shouts, answer me, look at the situation, offering a safe haven written on the note. He yells that the entire village vanished, warning Lo this world is too dangerous for him. Reaching out, the man gently tells a tearful Lo, Forget the past. The man walks away, leaving Lo alone, stating, "That's the only thing you can do." With a pained expression, the man pleads, "Please don't dig any further. Don't become another casualty." Lo looks down, a tear dropping into water, resolutely murmuring, "No, I knew from that moment." Lo recalls a voice, "Even though you space out all the time." As his tear ripples in an ethereal green glow, the voice continues, "When you put your heart into it, you are stronger than anyone else." As the energy intensifies, the stern man turns, witnessing Lo now enveloped in a vibrant, swirling green aura. A close-up reveals the man's shocked red eye, clearly startled by Lo's sudden power. Lo, tears still fresh, grits his teeth, defiantly thinking, "How could I ever forget?" He declares with newfound resolve, "I'm going to that island and I will bring everyone back, no matter what." A flashback begins. A young Lo stands alone amidst the ruins of a past disaster. Young Lo's innocent, traumatized face fills the frame as he remembers. "My parents died in a landslide." The memory shows him small and utterly alone, huddled in a single spotlight of darkness. A comforting hand rests on his head as he recalls, "I was left alone," hinting at his past grief. He remembers the villagers kindly taking him in after his parents' tragedy. Yuna's smiling face appears, a constant presence by his side. He recalls their collective kindness, people who couldn't ignore suffering. The swirling green energy intensifies as he thinks, all of them. Returning to the present, Lo, cloaked in power, faces the man vowing to go to the island. Tears streaming, he fiercely declares he'll bring everyone back, no matter the cost. The stern man's eyes widen in disbelief, questioning the immense prana. He stares as Lo's green aura explodes outwards, raw power on display. The very air around Lo begins to warp, as a definition of prana appears. Lo stands firm, a beacon of mental energy, as prana is defined as the life force of beings. The explanation continues, prana is a power all possess, yet few truly grasp. Talented individuals, however, can intentionally wield this energy, manifesting in unique ways. Though usually transparent, powerful prana like Lo's becomes visible, cracking the very earth. Various ancient peoples appear, hinting at diverse prana expressions across different groups. And some, like these enigmatic masked figures, may harness their power in secret. The narration suggests certain races, perhaps even Lo's own kin, possess unique forms of prana. The stern man mutters, "So this is the survivor of Babel," a shocking revelation. He reflects that Lo was destined to break free, oblivious to their complex circumstances. A gleaming sword suddenly spins through the air, cutting through the prana-filled atmosphere. Lo stands firm, his aura blazing, as the massive sword thuds into the ground before him. The man issues a challenge, "If you want to go to that island, then pick up the sword." With a determined gaze, he adds, "If I see potential, I'll train you." Lo, still radiating green prana, looks startled by the sudden proposition. He reaches down, his hand closing around the hilt of the enormous blade. The man, now enveloped in a fierce red aura, draws his own glowing sword, commanding, "Come at me with the intent to kill." Green and red auras collide as Lo, wielding the massive sword, faces his new challenger. Lo leaps, green energy trailing, bringing the heavy sword down in a powerful overhead strike. The man effortlessly blocks the blow, observing, as expected, he's a beginner. Their swords locked, auras clashing. The man continues his thought, but this pressure. Eye to eye, blade sparking. The man grimaces and, above all, impressed by Lo's raw power. The man acknowledges the waves of prana are extraordinary. He stares intently at Lo, thinking, "This guy." Lo, eyes blazing with green light, grits his teeth as the man realizes he's the real deal. A massive shockwave of Lo's prana erupts, pushing the man back. The scene transitions, revealing the name of a mythical place, Island of the Gods. Now calmer, the man sits with Lo, explaining, "That's what it's called." He describes a majestic floating island, a rare sight that erases all in its path. The man confesses his efforts to prevent such events, lamenting, "I was too late again." He shares a theory, those caught in the light might be on the Island of the Gods. Lo wonders about touching the light, but the man warns it's just a theory, their fate unknown. Lo, determined, asks the man, "So what should I do?" The man reveals the first path. You need to rank in the top 10 of the adventure ranking. Lo contemplates this new challenge, murmuring, "Adventure ranking." A ship braves a fierce storm as the man details their role, surveying uncharted lands. He warns that the top rankers are monstrously strong, guarding access to incredible places. Against a setting sun, the man states, "If you can rank in the top 10 there, you can go to the Island of the Gods." Lo's hand clenches, his resolve hardening at the daunting task ahead. The man grimly adds, "The Island of the Gods has consistently been danger zone ranking no. 1. He then poses a critical question to Lo, whose face is shadowed, "You still want to go?" Lo looks up, his eyes shining with unwavering determination, and firmly replies, yes. The man's sharp red eye glints as he declares, all right, then starting now. I'll train you for a year. Lo looks up, surprised, as the man clarifies, but all I can teach you is the sword. He extends a hand, instructing, so after a year, use me as a stepping stone and climb the adventure ranking on your own. The man proudly reveals his identity. I'm Adel, ranked no. 1 in the knight ranking. The strongest knight of humanity. Adel asks, what's your name, kid? Lo. Resolute against the fiery sky answers Lo. They shake hands, silhouetted by the setting sun, Adel vowing, Lo, I won't go easy on you. Adel grins, a hand to his chest, admitting, after all, you're the first person. Lo's determined green eyes narrow as Adel finishes, to cut me down with one strike. Dark, swirling energy fills the screen, heralding the ominous words, a hellish year began. Lo trains relentlessly in a forest, dodging Adel's attack as the narration states. Blisters burst on both hands and feet. Muscles tore as Lo battled Adel and monstrous fish simultaneously. Bones were crushed, blood poured, as he faced brutal training and fearsome beast. Adel remained silent about the island, forcing Lo to seek answers or give up. Yet Lo clung to hope for his village. Driven by this belief, Lo continued his relentless sparring with Adel. Battered, Lo questioned the village's disappearance and the true nature of the island of the gods. To uncover the truth, he resolved to conquer the adventure ranking. His eyes blazed with fierce determination, sword a blur of motion. 1 year later, Lo and Adel surveyed a vast, new landscape. Adel questioned his readiness, but Lo, now more seasoned, confirmed, I've been ready for a while. Lo's gaze, sharp and unwavering, spoke volumes of his preparedness. Lo's eyes narrow, a memory surfacing from the past. He recalls Yuna's bright declaration, I want to become a ranked adventurer. Come with me, Lo. Her joyful cry echoes in his mind. Let's go on an adventure. Lo reflects, Yuna, who longed for the outside world, is gone. Now I'm the one on this journey. His gaze hardens with resolve. Yuna's dream, I'll hold on to it for now. Adel turns, ready to depart. Let's go, Lo. Lo, following closely, affirms with a simple yeah. Now 17, Lo stands taller, Adel noting, you've grown, as Lo acknowledges his growth period. With newfound determination, Lo's adventure to the island of the gods truly begins. Their journey starts, a map revealing the kingdom of Valter and the distant Tori village. Their destination is revealed, the bustling capital city, Trackista. They arrive at the imposing Trackista branch of the Appraisal Bureau. Inside, someone named Luke is asleep at a desk piled high with books, as a voice calls out. A close-up on Luke's sleeping face, as the voice repeats, Luke, it's almost time. Luke jolts awake in a panic, exclaiming, oh, I'm in trouble. I dozed off again. A woman with glasses asks if Luke was up all night checking rankings again. To which Luke defensively replies, I'm an appraiser. The woman reminds Luke to take better care of themselves, as they are in charge of determining people's rankings. A gleaming golden crown emblem, symbol of the appraisers, shines brightly. Text explains appraisers are dispatched worldwide to assess rankers' skills and update rankings. Appraisers require extensive expertise, fair judgment, and must pass several assessments themselves to judge others. This prestigious role is one of the strictest, entrusted only to the chosen few. Luke admits, even if I'm an appraiser, I'm still bottom tier, vowing to climb the ranks. When asked about their goals, Luke excitedly exclaims, well, a bunch of things. Luke explains the fastest route to promotion, becoming an exclusive appraiser for a skilled ranker. The woman teases Luke about high standards, but Luke retorts, rankers these days are just lame. Luke laments that past ranking competitions were fiercer, unlike today's mostly fixed top ranks. With fiery determination, Luke declares the value of rankings lies in their consistent updates. The woman calls Luke a ranking maniac, and Luke cheerfully confirms, yep. Luke wistfully wonders if a promising new star will emerge to turn the rankings upside down. The woman gestures towards a hall full of adventurers, suggesting that new star might be in here. Luke, holding papers, asks his colleague if the adventure ranking exam is always this packed. She suggests the recent addition of Azaban Forest to the danger zone ranking drew the large crowd. Looking over the hopefuls, she remarks, there are lots of promising candidates this time. She identifies Al Darkus, mercenary ranking no. 753, a top-notch rookie mercenary leader. Next is Eddie Markman, archer ranking no. 402, a young prodigy from a famed archery family. As she points out another, Luke chimes in, a merchant ranker, right? Luke continues, spotting a knight ranker, a sailor ranker, and even a guide ranker in the assembly. Impressed, the woman confirms his accuracy, and Luke boasts, I am an appraiser after all. Luke explains the adventure ranking's popularity, as it's crucial for accessing dangerous zones. Suddenly, a cloaked figure with a sword rings a service bell at a nearby counter. Luke's colleague, holding a book, tells him, "Please wait a moment." Lo approaches the counter, asking the staffer, "I heard this is where you register for the rankings." She confirms, "Yes, that's right. The rankings are a system managed by our appraisal bureau." The staffer details that appraisers assess rankers, but initial registration must be at an official bureau. Lo states, "I want to register for the adventure ranking," and she notes the exam is about to start. He agrees to join. She hands him a form stating the exam fee is 3,000 mil. Lo promptly places a pouch of coins on the counter, settling the fee. The staffer then directs Luke, "Please wait in that room over there. Your candidate number is 53. As Lo turns from the counter, Luke watches him intently, a curious blush on his face. Luke then remarks to his colleague, "There are still bumpkins who don't know what the appraisal bureau is." Luke's colleague asks for help prepping the exam, and Luke, walking away, agrees desk work is a change of pace. In a grand hall, the colleague announces will now begin the adventure ranking registration exam. She explains with a smile, there are 3 types of test, written, practical, and a final one revealed later. Luke, now assisting, tells candidates their overall score matters, urging them not to give up. The written test begins. Candidates hunched over their papers in intense concentration. One adventurer sweats, finding the test incredibly hard and its scope overwhelming. The proctor watches over the struggling candidates as the difficult written exam continues. After the test, she announces the practical exam is in 2 hours in the nearby forest. The colleague then calls out, "Luke, help me grade," to which Luke cheerfully agrees. Both Luke and his colleague are now buried under stacks of papers, diligently grading the exams. Luke stares intently at an exam paper, a look of surprise dawning. It's candidate No. 53's test. The quiet guy with the dead look from earlier. Luke's eyes widen, a blush creeping up his face as he processes the answers. He gasps in disbelief, seeing every single answer on No. 53's paper marked incorrect. Luke groans, "You should think about how I feel, grading this ridiculous test from a country bumpkin." Later, his colleague announces the practical exam, a treasure hunt in the nearby forest. She explains they must gather listed items with points assigned, but fighting between participants is forbidden. Hopefuls boast of their skills, one confident in herbs, another in catching bugs. With a sudden rush, the practical exam begins, candidates scrambling into the woods. Watching them depart, Luke sighs to his colleague, "Whew, finally a break." Luke's colleague wonders how many will pass, while Luke estimates, maybe half. She observes the competent candidates, asking Luke if anyone special has caught his eye. Luke sighs sadly, no one again this time, just as Lo approaches the item board asking, "Am I the first to finish?" Lo confidently presents a gleaming Rigel ore, announcing, "Rigel ore. 120 points. The colleague asks if he's stopping with time left, but Lo confirms, "Yeah, I've already passed." "Right." She explains more points mean a higher starting rank, but Lo states his mercenary job is his priority. Just then, Eddie Markman, the young archer, rushes in, exclaiming, "What? I thought I was first." Eddie presents his find, a float bird tail feather, worth 180 points, casually adding they often eat them at home. Lo scoffs, HMPH, bragging over a bird feather, huh, as Eddie looks annoyed. Eddie retorts they fly silently at 500 kilometers per hour, and Lo sarcastically suggests Eddie would look better in a clown suit. Lo challenges Eddie's boast, "Want to test that?" While Luke's colleague notes, "Rankers really have a lot of pride, huh?" Luke confidently states, "That's what makes them rankers." As heavy footsteps approach from the forest, suddenly, Luke turns with a surprised huh, as the sound grows louder. Lo, Eddie, and the colleague also turn, witnessing a figure dragging a massive beast from the trees. It's candidate No. 53, effortlessly hauling the enormous carcass of a bear. He unceremoniously drops the huge red grizzly before the stunned examiners and other candidates. Candidate 53 calmly asks, "I didn't know how to extract a red grizzly's gallbladder, so I brought the whole corpse. Can I submit it like this?" A flustered colleague stammers, "Why yes, that's fine," as everyone stares at the monstrous bear. She announces, "Red grizzly gallbladder, 300 points," while onlookers whisper, "He took down a red grizzly solo." Luke, addressing No. 53, remarks, "You managed to recognize it was a red grizzly, even though your written test was a disaster." Candidate 53 calmly explains, "Red grizzlies often appear in my village." A young adventurer, Eddie, turns to another candidate asking with wide eyes, "Did you see him fight?" The burly candidate confirms, "Yeah, it happened right in front of me." Still processing the scene, He then admits with a look of awe, "But I can't really say I saw it. It was too fast." A flashback shows No. 53 facing the massive bear, drawing his sword as it lunged. In an instant, a green flash, and the red grizzly was already falling, cleanly sliced. Eddie stares at No. 53, utterly speechless, as the scene transitions to 1 hour later. In an underground training facility, the colleague addresses the remaining candidates, "Everyone, do you know who adventurers must always be wary of?" She raises a finger, declaring that would be beasts and humans. An image depicts adventurers traversing harsh landscapes. As she explains, their missions often lead to unpopulated, dangerous areas. She continues, they usually face the threat of bandits or pirates, stressing the need for strength. So the final test is a mock battle, she declares, revealing they'll compete against each other. She reassures them it's just to gauge abilities. As No. 53 realizes the secrecy prevented earlier sabotage. Suddenly, a large, sneering candidate points at No. 53. "Hey, you, fight me." He taunts No. 53 about picking up a rock, mocking mercenary rankers as just loud. The challenger lunges, shouting, "What kind of third-rate ranker are you anyway? I'll crush you." As No. 53 draws his blade. With a swift move, No. 53 effortlessly parries the powerful punch with the flat of his sword. The burly attacker is sent flying backwards, utterly stunned by the counter. No. 53 calmly states, "Sorry, I couldn't take the insult." As the colleague dismisses the attacker's chances, onlookers murmur that provoking a third-class major-ranking adventurer, a monster, was foolish. The colleague muses Owl's opponent must be Eddie, as Lo remarks on her fiery nature. Luke approaches his colleague with a casual "Hey, what's up?" He asks if he can choose the fighters for a match, and she reluctantly agrees. A dynamic montage showcases various candidates clashing fiercely in their mock battles. As one bout ends, Luke steps forward, announcing, "Then for match 8. He calls out number 27 and number 41, revealing Lo and Eddie standing ready. Luke dramatically pauses against as the view frames Lo and Eddie between someone's legs. "Number 53, he declares, showing No. 53 standing resolute, sword in hand. The colleague clarifies the setup. 27 and 41 will be a team. The two of you will fight against 53. Lo questions Luke's sanity, while Eddie seethes. "It's been a while since I've been this underestimated." Luke's colleague anxiously questions his decision, but Luke coolly replies, "Probably." An excited onlooker gasps, "If my eyes are not mistaken, that man is a monster," she declares, as No. 53 stares down his opponents. The vast arena sets the stage, with Lo and Eddie facing No. 53 alone. While the colleague remains worried, the young observer beside her beams with anticipation. No. 53 eyes his two challengers, Lo and Eddie, who prepare to fight. Lo is introduced, Aldarkus, leader of the Red Wolf mercenary group. His mercenary group gained fame last year by wiping out the 62nd rank Kamori Mafia. Rumor has it, Al single-handedly defeated 7 executives and their boss. Eddie Markman is revealed as the young master of a prestigious archer family. Eddie received talent training from his father, once ranked 2nd in archery, and was registered at just 5. Every archer knows this prodigy, whose skills are truly worthy of his esteemed lineage. Facing these two renowned fighters is number 53, an unknown young man walking calmly with his sword drawn. The colleague, brimming with excitement, throws her hand up and shouts, "Begin the match." Eddie immediately springs into action, knocking an arrow with fierce determination. No. 53 effortlessly deflects Eddie's incoming arrows with swift movements of his sword. Lo then lunges forward with a powerful whoosh, blade aimed at No. 53. Their swords clash in a tight close-up, Lo's fierce attack meeting No. 53's steady defense. Bright sparks erupt as steel grinds against steel with incredible force. Lo and No. 53 engage in a furious exchange, their blades a blur of motion. An onlooker gasps, "Hey, can you see that?" While another admits, "I can only hear sounds." No. 53's eyes narrow with intense focus as he meets Lo's fierce assault. With a powerful upward strike, No. 53 sends Lo's sword spinning into the air. Lo stumbles back, his face a mask of disbelief at being disarmed so quickly. No. 53 leaps, his blade poised for a decisive blow against the off-balance Lo. A chilling close-up reveals No. 53's unwavering, predatory gaze. As No. 53 descends, Eddie is already aiming a volley of arrows from afar. Mid-air, No. 53 expertly deflects Eddie's rapid-fire arrows with his sword. The crowd recoils in astonishment, some stumbling back from the sheer speed and power displayed. An onlooker screams in terror as an arrow narrowly misses, embedding itself in the wall. No. 53 lands gracefully, standing tall as Lo and Eddie regroup below him. Lo acknowledges no. 53 is a top-tier swordsman, while Eddie admits he's never seen such skill. No. 53 calmly inquires if his opponents hold ranks in other fighting categories. Eddie reveals his 402nd archery rank, and Lo his 753rd mercenary rank. I see. No. 53 murmurs, his sword beginning to pulse with a faint green energy. Then he continues, his eyes now glowing with the same intense green aura. A powerful surge erupts as no. 53 declares, if I defeat you two, I'll definitely reach 3 digits. The arena is bathed in his overwhelming green energy, shocking the watching crowd. Eddie stares, utterly bewildered by no. 53's sudden, immense power display. Lo recoils, exclaiming, what the? This guy suddenly has such an intimidating aura. The young spectator gasps, this is prana, it's an incredible amount. I can see its color with my naked eyes. Eddie, bow drawn, retorts that rankings aren't solely based on occupation. He declares his 402nd archery rank, but notes his sniper ranking tests precise shooting. A close-up on Eddie's determined eye reveals his sniper rank, 78th. An arrow streaks forward, a targeting reticle reflected in Eddie's focused gaze. No. 53 sidesteps with ease, the arrow whizzing past as Eddie tumbles backward. Lo stands firm, sword ready, while Eddie lies defeated on the ground behind no. 53. Lo utters, watching no. 53, still enveloped in the vibrant green energy. The two swordsmen prepare for a final clash. No. 53's blade pulsing with power. No. 53's intense green gaze meets Lo's terrified eyes. With blinding speed, no. 53 darts past Lo, leaving him stunned. No. 53's blade halts inches from Lo's throat, who desperately yells, wait. Lo drops his sword, hands raised, declaring, I surrender. I have to go to work after this, Lo explains. So I can't afford to be knocked out like that guy. No. 53 calmly regards the surrendering mercenary leader. Acknowledging Lo's surrender, no. 53 sheathes his sword, murmuring, I see. Lo, sweating, thinks, what a monster. Who the hell is this guy? An onlooker gapes, incredible, that guy just beat to 3-digit rankers. The excited colleague who initiated the match decisively shouts, that's enough. The colleague announces the decisive outcome. The winner is number 53. She then notices the young spectator, Luke, darting away. Luke, where are you going? Luke races to a cluttered tech room, urgently working at a glowing terminal. An appraiser-exclusive database materializes, listing numerous fighter profiles. The database reveals number 53's identity. Name is Lo Tuli. Luke learns Lo Tuli is 17, unranked, speculating he's from a secluded region. His investigation confirms Lo Tuli has no criminal record or ties to special sex. Jackpot, Luke's eyes shine, astounded by this undiscovered prodigy. He sprints out, shouting, Lo Tuli, be my exclusive appraisee. Only to find Lo Tuli already surrounded by a crowd of rival appraisers. Luke stares in disbelief, realizing, damn, I was too late. He yells at the rival appraisers, you're supposed to investigate before making an exclusive offer. Lo Tuli, amidst the commotion, cluelessly asks, what's an exclusive appraiser? Luke dramatically slides in, declaring to Lo Tuli, I'll explain that. An exclusive appraiser, Luke clarifies, is dedicated to one ranker, updating their status regularly. Normally, rank updates require waiting for the appraisal bureau, unlike this instant system. But with an exclusive appraiser, Luke winks, you can update on the spot anytime. Also, Luke exclaims, reaching into his pocket with a flourish. He reveals a red device, the ranking telegram or ranktel for instant info. Luke eagerly tells Lo Tuli, to raise your rank efficiently, you need an exclusive appraiser. Lo Tuli considers, if I want to efficiently raise my ranking. He turns to Luke, stating firmly, I have one condition. Addressing the eager crowd of appraisers, Lo Tuli prepares to make his demand. He boldly asks, is there anyone here who can get me into the adventure rankings top 10? Luke and the other appraisers stare, stunned by his audacious goal. Lo Tuli reiterates to the silent crowd, there's one condition. Is there anyone in here? His gaze sweeps across them. Who can get me into the top 10 of the adventure ranking? Luke groans inwardly, realizing the sheer difficulty of Lo Tuli's request. Appraisers whisper doubtfully, top 10 is full of monsters. Swordsmanship alone isn't enough. Lo Tuli listens silently, his expression unreadable as they voice their concerns. Luke's eyes widen, a spark of determination igniting within him. As Lo Tuli turns to leave, Luke suddenly shouts, oh, wait, Luke yells, pushing past the other appraisers to chase after him. The two figures, one chasing the other, head down a long path towards a grand building. Luke calls out again, Lo, as he tries to catch up. Catching his breath, Luke asked Lo. Why do you want to get into the top 10 of the adventure ranking? Lo coolly replies, that's none of your business with the town in the background. Luke, undeterred, clenches his fist, then let's make it my business. With newfound resolve, Luke declares, I'll become your exclusive appraiser. I'll guide you into the top 10 of the adventure ranking, Luke vows as Lo looks on. Lo dismisses Luke, I don't want to put a kid in danger. Luke retorts, kid, I'm an appraiser, and honestly, you're a kid too. Lo remains firm, even if you weren't a kid, I have no intention of hiring anyone. He adds quietly, I don't want to drag others into this. Luke, frustrated, lets out a small ugh, his eyes still sharp with resolve. Suddenly, Luke passionately declares, there's something I must do. A mission I'll risk my life for. Luke exclaims, to do that, I want to join hands with you. Lo turns, looking surprised by Luke's fervent declaration. Luke stands his ground, determination radiating from him against a bright backdrop. A powerful image of Lo emerges, vowing, I'm going to that island. I will definitely get everyone back. Lo eyes gleam with unwavering resolve, his mission clear. Before a grand edifice, Luke echoes his own profound purpose to Lo. Luke Ameldia he introduces, I'll guide you to the top. I'm Lo. The swordsman replies. Their hands clasp, sealing a pact under the radiant sun, a new team formed. Night falls, illuminating a quaint building, their new temporary sanctuary. Luke enthusiastically presents their new base, a cozy room rented for their operations. Lo acknowledges Luke's resourcefulness, thanks, you've got good skills. As Luke excitedly flops onto a bed, Luke fumes, recalling Lo's unexpected condition, a probation period for a week. I'll prove my worth, Luke vows, comically mimicking Lo begging him to stay. Lo calmly responds, that would be nice, much to Luke's exasperation. Luke observes, you're an amazing fighter, but otherwise, kind of spaced out, Lo admits. I hear that a lot. Suddenly remembering, Luke exclaims on fumbles for his rank tell. He whips out the device, announcing, the test results are out. The rank tell screen flashes, revealing Lo adventure ranking, 2,728th place. Luke beams, congrats on passing. Ranking in the 2000s on your first try is amazing. Lo, however, looks unimpressed, muttering, I thought it would be 3 digits. He explains his opponents were ranked for 102nd and 753rd, making Luke go ah. Luke clarifies the adventure ranking is fiercely competitive due to its sheer size. The rank tell also displays Lo's sword speed ranking at an impressive 58th place. For example, Luke points out, your sword speed ranking is 58th. That's quite good, isn't it? Luke insists to an unimpressed Lo, from our appraisal bureau's perspective. This number is the embodiment of talent. Lo inquires if the two he fought also possess diverse rankings like his. Luke's rank tell reveals Darkus's profile, showcasing multiple high rankings across different fields. Next, Eddie Markman's stats appear, including an impressive 19th in mushroom cultivation. Luke explains, you can join multiple rankings. That way, it'll be easier to get more work. He then thoughtfully proposes, so I would like you to register in multiple rankings too. Lo curtly replies, I'm not looking for work, as Luke observes him from the window. Luke confidently states, basically, you want to get into the top 10 of the adventure ranking as fast as possible. With a knowing smile, Luke declares, and you're going to the island of the gods. Lo, surprised, asks, how did you know? Luke reveals it's the top 10's exclusive privilege. Lo, after a moment of thought, simply agrees, sure. Luke then offers, then I'll tell you my circumstances at that time too. That's fair for both of us, Luke states, adding his situation is complex for a ranking newcomer. With intense eyes, Luke dramatically reveals, what I'm chasing is the darkness of the rankings. Lo, taken aback, asked what, but Luke quickly dismisses it, never mind. Changing the subject, Luke inquires from their balcony, by the way, where did you get so strong? Especially that swordsmanship. Lo casually mentions, a year ago, I became the disciple of a knight named Adel, causing Luke to shout, Adel. Luke, astounded, grabs Lo, Adel, you mean the first-ranked knight, as Lo nonchalantly confirms. Lo seems unfazed by his year-long discipleship, much to Luke's continued shock at his indifference. Luke pulls up Adel's profile, exclaiming he's famous for rejecting all students, making Lo's training even more incredible. Luke reveals Adel was seeking a successor, igniting fierce competition among knights. He exclaims other knights would faint knowing Lo might inherit Adel's legendary status. Lo questions Adel's fame, as Luke confirms Adel is humanity's strongest knight. Lo then casually states he defeated Adel in a sword fight, leaving Luke utterly speechless. Luke, bewildered by Lo's nonchalance, mutters about his upbringing and rechecks the RankTel data. He scrutinizes Lo's profile, noticing Tuli is a brand new registration in the database. Luke's eyes narrow with suspicion, questioning if Tuli is merely an alias. The question hangs in the air. Lo, what's your surname? Lo, confused, asks what his surname is, making Luke consider cultural differences. A flashback reveals Adel instructed Lo to use Lo Tuli for the fastest path to the island of the gods. Adel advised Lo that success might attract clues to his quest. Lo's eyes in the flashback showed his firm understanding of Adel's words. Before a vast, sunlit crater, Lo affirmed to Adel, I understand. Back in the present, Luke realizes it's not an alias. Lo clenches his fist, declaring, Tuli is the name of my precious family. Luke nods, accepting Lo's heartfelt explanation. I see. Thanks for telling me. Deciding to rest, Luke announces, let's call it a day. My appraiser work is also done too. Luke then reaches up, stating, I should take off my hat. As Luke removes his cap with a sigh of relief, Lo watches. Lo stares, surprised, uttering you as Luke's appearance changes without the hat. Lo, stunned, asks, You're a woman as Luke. Hat off, reveals long blue hair. Luke, aghast, retorts, wait, you just realized now, while Lo simply apologizes. Pouting, Luke clutches her hat, indignantly questioning if a mere sorry will suffice. The scene transitions to an exterior view of Theron, bathed in the quiet of the night. Morning arrives, showcasing a sunlit town street with a horse-drawn carriage trotting by. Inside, Luke sits comfortably reading a newspaper, sunlight illuminating the room. Lo descends the stairs as Luke greets him. Lo, you're up early, prompting a stare. Luke looks puzzled by his gaze, asking HM as Lo mentions he's just getting water. Lo dismisses his stare, it's nothing, and wishes Luke a good morning. Tying her hair up, Luke cheerfully suggests, let's go eat breakfast. Luke places her hand on her hat, acknowledging, it'll be a long journey. But today's the first step. With a wink, Luke declares, all right, let's have a strategy meeting to aim for top 10 in the adventure rankings. At an outdoor cafe, Luke explains, to raise your adventure ranking, you need adventure achievements. While eating a sandwich, Luke elaborates, land development or exploration is basic. I recommend taking on request for now. Lo listens, eating, as Luke adds that requests offer rewards and are perfect for beginners. Luke pulls out her RankTel. Requests can be received from the Accreditation Bureau or a guild union, but with me, you get them all with this. Lo remarks on the RankTel's convenience. While Luke muses about becoming an exclusive accreditation officer, Lo asks about requests to raise his ranking easily, and Luke explains he just needs high difficulty ones. As Luke shows a list of dangerous quests, Lo immediately picks the one at the very top. Luke slams the table, shouting, this is impossible for you right now. It's completely impossible. But Lo calmly replies, you don't know unless you try. Luke insists, trust the eyes of an accreditation officer. This request is too hard, you'll die. Lo calmly replies, even so. Let me try. Then asks about the Isle of God's danger ranking. With determined eyes, Lo declares, I can't back down in a place like this. Luke, flustered, thinks, he's more stubborn than I thought. I have to persuade him somehow. A dapper man approaches their table, smoothly asking, looks like you have a problem. Luke, surprised, exclaims, Mr. Lod, as he greets her, it's been a while, Luke. As Lo looks on, Luke offers an introduction, this person is WildRanker. Luke reveals Lod is a strong adventurer, impressively ranked 11th. Lo's eyes narrow, taking in the significance of 11th place. Lo recalls Adel's words, top-ranked adventurers are monsters, and this man is one of them. Luke looks up at Lod, a top-ranking adventurer, who stands confidently before her. Lo realizes Lod is 11th, just one more rank, and he can challenge the Isle of Gods. Seizing the moment, Luke excitedly asks Mr. Lod for a favor, and he casually agrees. Luke then points dramatically at Lo, shouting, Lo, please beat him up. The scene shifts to a vast, empty arena where Lo and Lod face each other. Lod approaches Lo, surprised he accepted the duel as Lo admits he didn't expect it. Lod reveals he borrowed a spear, noting it's a bit light, but will suffice. Lo, looking serious, simply affirms his readiness for the confrontation. Lod tells Lo to speak comfortably as manners aren't needed in adventure rankings. Luke proudly states Lod updated her ranking before, exclaiming, Luke is amazing. Lod reflects on Luke's vast knowledge and unique passion for accurate rankings. Luke, blushing, admits she'd do anything to help with the request from Lod. Lod tells Lo that Luke asked him to teach a stubborn beginner his place, adding she cares for him. Lo's eyes narrow, acknowledging Lod's immense power. I can feel it just by looking. Lod emanates a fiery aura, his spear ready, as Lo senses the overwhelming danger. Luke cries out, Lo, her face etched with worry as he faces the formidable opponent. Determined, Luke shouts, "This is a good chance. You need to learn how vast the world is. At least once." Lo listens intently to Luke's impassioned plea, his expression unreadable. Lo murmurs, "The vastness of the world, you say?" As a vision of immense destructive power flashes. Surrounded by a vibrant green aura, Lo defiantly declares, "I already know." The arena screen flashes, WildRanker, 11th rank, versus Lo Tuli, a distant 2728th. Luke, arm thrust high, officially shouts, "Begin," igniting the duel. Steel screams as Lo's spear meets Lo's glowing green sword in a fierce lock. Lo, eyes narrowed in concentration, channels his vibrant green aura through his blade. With a powerful swish, Lo's prana-infused slash tears through the arena floor as Lod leaps back. Lod observes keenly, noting Lo's prana-enhanced sword and agility. As Lod deflects another strike, he internally questions Lo's familiar swordsmanship. Lod recalls the legendary Sword Saint style, a secret art passed to only one successor per generation. Lo's relentless assault forces Lod to snap out of his thoughts, no time for thinking. In a stunning move, Lo's blade finds an opening, striking Lod with a powerful impact. Despite the hit, Lod calmly states, "I'm quite relaxed," as Lo visibly strains. Lod gracefully leaps back, narrowly dodging another of Lo's devastating green-infused attacks. Steel clashes against steel once more, their intense battle sending sparks flying. Lod keenly analyzes Lo's vibrant aura, admitting, "Just looking at his prana, he has more than me. Moreover, the shimmer." Creating distance, Lod lands lightly while Lo remains grounded, his powerful aura unwavering. Lod, intrigued, directly asks Lo, "What tribe are you from?" Catching him off guard. Lo, still enveloped in his green energy, looks puzzled and repeats, "Tribe." With a knowing smirk, Lod presses, "Playing dumb won't work. The shimmer of prana isn't something acquired later in life." Lod brushes aside his curiosity, "Well, whatever," then firmly grips his spear. Readying himself, he slams his spear into the arena floor, shattering the stone as he prepares to unleash his own power. Lod, spear embedded in the ground, confidently asks, "You can use arts too, right?" Lo, a bead of sweat on his temple, looks puzzled and murmurs, "Arts?" Lod's eyes glow as he begins an incantation, the furiously galloping horse. Passing many mountains, seeks its breath. Lo stares in shock as Lod levitates, a colossal 10 manifesting in his golden aura. The chant continues with visions of golden swords, seeing the water surface after finding peace. It turns its hooves. Countless golden swords materialize round Lod as he proclaims, and leaps with pride. Surrounded by a storm of ethereal blades, Lod announces the arts of the Broward tribe. Spear arts, Zen. Lod, eyes glinting, warns Lo, "You use it too? Otherwise," as Luke watches anxiously. "You'll die," Lod declares, his gaze intense, while Lo grips his sword ready. Lo braces himself against Lod's immense power. Marking the start of Chapter 7, Prana and Technique. Lod adjusts his glasses, his golden eyes fixed on Lo, a silent challenge in his gaze. Lo, sweat dripping, stares in disbelief, muttering, "This is as the golden aura intensifies." With a swift motion, Lod directs his spear, launching the countless golden blades towards Lo. Golden projectiles rain down, forcing Lo to look up in alarm at the overwhelming assault. Lo desperately swings his green glowing sword, deflecting some of the ethereal blades. One of the golden swords grazes Lo's leg, drawing blood as he grunts in pain. Lod observes, stating, "That alone won't work. An ordinary sword can't block this technique." As he prepares another wave, Lo finds himself completely surrounded by a maelstrom of glowing golden swords. He fights frantically, his green prana clashing against the relentless barrage of golden energy. After the onslaught, Lod stands composed, spear aimed, while Lo stumbles back, wounded but defiant. Lo recalls his master's words, "Your prana handling is still rough." A flashback shows a younger Lo training with his stern-faced master. The master explains, "But once you get used to it, you'll slowly be able to use techniques." Young Lo, intrigued, repeats, "Techniques." His master, sword glowing red, instructs, "Watch closely." The master demonstrates a basic technique, his blade radiating crimson energy. In the present, Lo channels that teaching, his own sword erupting with vibrant green prana. Lo unleashes a devastating gale slash, a torrent of green energy tearing through the air. Lod looks up, witnessing the massive wave of Lo's prana surging towards him. Facing the onslaught, Lod acknowledges its incredible speed fast. Lod braces, spear ready, as Lo's swirling green energy wave crashes towards him. Unfazed, Lod raises a hand, his golden sword still shimmering in the air around him. He counters, his spear a blur against the backdrop of his radiant golden arts. Lo's massive green slash collides with Lod's defense, erupting in a blinding explosion of power. Lod acknowledges the strike, a supersonic slash too fast for the naked eye to see. But still, Lod tightens his grip, his resolve hardening against the onslaught. Lo desperately parries Lod's golden projectiles, his green aura flaring with each block. Another golden spear-like blade streaks through the air, homing in on the embattled Lo. The impact sends Lo flying backwards, his body twisting from the force of the blow. As Lo hits the ground, Lod observes, surrounded by his golden arsenal. That's impressive. Lod, with a decisive snap of his fingers, states, however, the wall is high. Countless golden swords encircle a tiny Lo, an inescapable cage of light. Luke watches in horror as Lo stares up, overwhelmed by the impending doom. Lod's eyes gleam, warning, don't underestimate the adventure rankings. A blinding torrent of golden blades descends upon Lo with terrifying speed. Lo desperately tries to shield himself, muttering, damn it, as Lod observes. The arena erupts in a cataclysmic explosion of golden energy and shattered stone. Lo lies defeated in a crater, Lod standing over him, his golden spears planted like grave markers. A battered Lo gazes up weakly while Lod looks down upon his fallen opponent. WildRanker, adventurer ranked 11th, is declared the decisive winner. Luke approaches Lod asking, satisfied, to which Lod politely replies, yes, thank you. Luke observes Lo must have realized it by now as Lod compliments Luke's earlier words. Looking towards the fallen Lo, Luke remarks to Lod, you were convinced to the end. Luke finishes his thought, that the boy would win, weren't you? As Lo lies unconscious, Luke quietly admits, I just thought it might be possible, that's all. Lod astutely asks because he's Adel's disciple, right? Surprising Luke, who replies, you noticed. Lod reveals, I figured it out after seeing that high-speed slash. That's a Sword Saint technique. Lod reflects on the Sword Saint style, a prestigious lineage passed through generations of top knights. Lod notes the implications. An adventurer inheriting such a technique is like theft to knight rankers. A worried Luke agrees, as Lod warns they must keep Lo from knight rankers or he might die. Lod muses that if Lo were a knight ranker, things might be different. As Luke looks on thoughtfully, a memory of Lo surfaces, his determined face declaring, there's something I absolutely have to do. Luke clarifies to Lod, oh, but the reason I believed in Lo wasn't because of the Sword Saint style. Luke reveals, I believed because I heard he landed a clean hit on your son, shocking Lod. Lod, looking at the fallen Lo, deems it impossible with his current skills. But Luke trusts Lo isn't a liar. Lod ponders, there must be some kind of explanation. Admitting the Sword Saint technique was surprising. Lod recalls Lo's intense green prana, thinking, that prana shimmer was even more so. Luke calls out, Mr. Lod. As Lod gazes at his spear lying on the arena floor, Lod picks up his spear, speculating, that boy probably has a technique too. Lod turns, a serious glint in his eyes, confessing, if he had used it, I might have lost.